It's like my lunch break. I've got my shake. Giant stomach here, guys. I'm getting so big.
Oh my gosh, I seriously don't even want Shaco. I haven't had Shaco in like 3 days.
It's
It's the worst. Like the thought of it, I can't even right now.
It's so sad.
It's horrible.
Okay, so I'm going to jump in. This is recording, and this is a topic that I think we've covered a little bit, but I know that there's some of you guys who this might be some of your first calls that you're jumping in on, and I think as I was going through and making this presentation last night, it was really helpful just to remind myself about Monique and I are both in this elite mastermind group of coaches pushing for elite. One of the things I talk about all the time is keeping your business in phase 1. So whether you are like a superstar diamond coach or this is your very first week as a coach, I think that mentality is what moves you forward. Like the same things that you did the very first couple months of your business to be successful are where you want to stay. And like, obviously you'll add things to that, but it's easy to overcomplicate what is actually a really simple process. So I like to be reminded of it. So let me share my screen real quick here.
Wait, before we get started, I wanted to introduce Alexis. She's on the call, and she's brand new. She is one of Erica, my coaches, Erica Carlos's coaches. So I'm so pumped that she's here for her first team call, and it's like her first week coaching. She's in the Success Starters mastermind. So yay, welcome.
We're so excited here. And if half of this is gibberish to you, that's okay. Don't panic. I remember my first couple team calls being like, I don't even know what they're talking about. Monique, do you want to do recognition?
Sure.
Announcements. I can scroll through. So this.
Yeah. Okay. You guys are like, seriously, look at this. I mean, I want to say every single week, it's like it gets crazier and crazier. You guys are killing it this month, killing it.
I had to make the font smaller to fit you guys all on.
Just fit everybody in. It's just insane what you guys are doing. So we are so proud of you. Kendra, Nicole, I mean, as brand new coaches, Michaela too, you guys really took this on, and Victoria were like, we want this to work. We're going to make this happen. You jumped in Success Starters. You committed to it and said, I'm going to hit Success Club, and you made it a non-negotiable, and you're making it happen. Where, I know a couple of you, took a little bit longer, and you're like, I'm not so sure. I just want to be a discount coach, and, taking your time and getting your feet wet in it. But once you really said, I'm all in and I'm going to do this, look what's achievable. And it's just amazing to see you guys really jump into that and see the fruit of your labor, that it's not all for naught, right? You're getting so many amazing things out of it. And I'm motivated by you every single day by what you guys are doing and accomplishing, and what you're showing new coaches what's possible when you really push. So thank you for setting the pace for our team and setting the tone. You guys you're straight up smashing it. So
and Elise and Tiffany, it's their first month, right? Julia. Elise isn't on this call. Yeah, it's her first month. Yeah, and Tiffany also is not on this call live, but I have to give her a shout out because her due date is a day either before or after mine. So she's rocking this business as a brand new coach, 35 weeks pregnant too. So good for her.
And with points on the board.
I know. Announcements.
Yeah, so I'm sure you guys have all heard the two new vegan flavors were released last week, 2 weeks ago. So it's vegan vanilla and vegan cafe latte. And the feedback that we've been getting, because here's we keep telling you guys, like, we're pushing for elite, and obviously Premier is like the low benchmark for us, but we really want to push for elite. There are so many perks to doing that. And it's not just for Abby and I to say, like, we're elite and for the recognition or anything else, but you get so many other perks with it. And part of that is Premier and elite coaches got free samples of the new flavors first before any other coaches did. So they got to taste it, they got to use it, they got to share it with their customers, they got to post on social media what it tasted like, what it's all about. Those are things that we really want to be able to do for you guys and share with you guys, and share that you can say, hey, our coaches tasted this, we know what it tasted like. So it's just cool stuff like that you kind of are in the know first, and that's a huge reason why, because it really pushes your business forward. So with that.
Also, can I say that something real quick? I just switched up, so you guys might want to think about doing this, especially if you have like extra Shakeology on hand or you're ordering through a spouse's account. I just switched up my May order to the vanilla one to try it out. But you guys, you may want to order a sample pack, or you may want to switch up your husband's order or something, just so that you can actually talk about it. I will be honest, I don't like vanilla Shakeology. I think it tastes weird. But I keep hearing that the vanilla vegan tastes like cake batter, and it's really, really good. So it sounds like it tastes even different. So it's something you kind of want to think about, because people like breastfeeding or pregnant women love vegan. It's really, really good. It's something you can just talk up a ton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm super excited. So my shipment isn't until like the end of April. So I'm switching mine out. So I'll still get it for April, which is cool. Mm-hmm. And with what Abby just said, if you have an extra order that you're going to be ordering, I would recommend getting the sample box of it, like the packets with the 3 flavors, the combo pack, or either the half and half pack. Because if you use it and say it's amazing, and then you can actually say, who else wants to try it? I have it before anybody else, and sell your packets for $5. You can make your money back. So you can do stuff like that too. And the new programs being released in May and July, if you guys missed that on Super Saturday 2, the new UV2 UV2 is coming out in May. I think it's the first week of May, right? Second week of May, something like that. Yes. I forgot what it was.
On demand, yeah.
It's on demand, and so that'll be out. You'll want to be talking about it still. We saw it doesn't matter. It's corny. It looks cheesy. We're not really into it, but like Abby mentioned last week, there's a huge market for it. And Beachbody, we know, would not put something out if they did not foresee a big market of people that there's a need for it for. So like, I'll just go back to Country Heat. Not many coaches were excited about Country Heat, right? Because it was like country line dancing. It wasn't exciting. But if you launch it the right way, if you're excited about it, your people will be excited about it. If you set the tone for your business. So if you're like a want about it, everybody else is going to be like want about it. If you open the floodgates and say, this is an amazing new program for people who who need low impact, who need to start small, who want to take baby steps, who have never done anything before. If you have a large amount of weight to lose and you want to take your time doing it, this is a great program for you. I wish I had something like this when I had a bunch of weight to lose, whatever it is, however you want to market it or put your spin on it. It's important that you do that for both of these programs. Even if you don't like the other one, what is it called? Shifter, shaping?
I'm going to swear every time I say it. Shift shop.
I want to call it shape shift. The word shop doesn't even come into my mind. But for some people, that doesn't look exciting. Like if you don't care for high impact stuff like that, and you're like, I'm not about that at all. It doesn't matter. You still need to, this is your job. These are our products. We have to represent them well, and there's a market for them. You're going to have a big pool of people in your friends list who like that stuff and might not like the same workouts that you do. And that's why we kind of do that interview process, seeing what people like and what they don't like. So it's important that you start talking about them, that you start, if we wanted to do a, what do you call that? A sneak peek type of thing in the event, like an event release,
and we'll talk to you guys on how to do that too as it gets closer.
So those are those 2 programs coming up. The Shape Shift Shop, whatever it is, comes out in July. So that's looking exciting. And then if you are pushing to qualify for the May,
misspelled it. That's embarrassing.
That's okay.
Midnight. It was midnight when I was typing this.
You need to hit it by May 4th, and you need to hold it for 6 weeks. And holding it for 6 weeks means you don't drop back to Ruby or Emerald or anything like that, but you have to hit it by May 4th. If you do, our prize is still out there for a customized pair of Nikes. And we have a couple different cool ways you can do that. You can just order it directly from the Nike thing, but I also have a connection of a woman who crystallizes shoes and glitterizes them, like Nikes and Adidas and stuff, and they're freaking so cute. I would personally rather have that, but it's like the same price as a regular pair of Nikes. So if you can hit that by May 4th, it's 1,000% possible. There is no reason. If you're hitting your numbers the way you are now and signing everyone up as discount coaches, and then you can show your 2 Emeralds how to do, or your 2 coaches how to do that and hit Emerald, it's 1,000% possible for many of you to hit Diamond. By the 4th. And then the backpack, everybody wants it. We've all said it. If you haven't seen it, look at the team page. The Success Club prize for April is an awesome freaking backpack. So I'm not missing out on that. Hope you're not missing out on it either. If you need help pushing, we are here to help you.
Cool. So we are going to chat through here. Basically keeping your business in phase one. And as we're thinking about it, kind of identifying problem areas, and this may be like for coaches who are brand new, some of these may not apply to you, but I know a lot of you guys, especially who've been maybe pushing for Diamond or are moving your business forward, these are going to resonate with you. And I'll talk about these a little bit, but moving into management mode instead of being proactive, especially if you have coaches starting, reinventing the wheel when it really doesn't need to be done. Being scared of messaging, always a good one. Fluff. So think running tons of groups, doing multiple challenge groups when you don't need to be doing, being on a million trainings or calls and not implementing it, like just fluff that's clogging up your time or your newsfeed or things like that. Lack of planning, a lack of knowing what to invite to, which kind of ties into that, and not having a system in place. So I think one of the things that can be really hard in this business, and I will be the first to admit that I struggle with it because I'm competitive, is you look around and you see different coaches having different levels of success, and it's really easy to peg of like, oh, well, of course she went elite her second year. She doesn't have any kids, or this person doesn't work full time, or, whatever you have as like a trouble for you, you can use as a validation of why you can't succeed, or you can use it as kind of a motivation to push forward and show people in that same niche, because most likely they're going to be your niche customers, how you make it work instead. So I guess I would encourage you guys, if you want this business to work for you, you can, and you can make it work in an hour to a day, because that's what I've done. There's lots of coaches who have done that. But you have to find a way that works for you, and kind of identifying these problem areas and making sure that you're getting rid of the excess really, really helps you do that well. So for every solution, basically it's duplication. And I'll be honest, this first graphic is how I feel on a daily basis. Oh my gosh, like right now and this is just my life. I am having a baby in 5 weeks. I have a 3-year-old who's potty training. I work 40 plus hours a week, and I'm having to leave my job for a couple months. So making sure that's tied up. I'm coaching, that's how I feel on a daily basis. But how I feel in my business, honestly, is the second line, because I know exactly what my goals are. I know exactly what I'm doing, and I know how to get there and how to make it work. So I would encourage you, even if your life feels like the top line, you can help your business feel like the bottom one. And so here's kind of the thing. You won't, first and foremost, if you have a system in place and a system that works for you, you won't need to feel like you're constantly managing people. And so for instance, for especially you guys who have new coaches starting, we have this whole Success Starters group in place where you don't have to recreate training for them or anything like that. You're in there helping out, but you don't have to recreate it. Spending your business hours creating what's already been created for you and is proven and successful is the biggest time waster. So while you may want to modify things for your voice, whether it's a challenge group script or ads or whatever it is, we have within our team, and then also within the larger Dream team, and then if you pan out from that, Beachbody or Google or YouTube or whatever, has all these things already put in place that you can customize. But I know for me, I have never come up with my own challenge group script from scratch because I don't have time. And there's a lot of really great ones in place that I'll just tweak and modify from. Get rid of fluff. We'll talk about that. Have a plan and a calendar, which we do, and we'll show that again. And find your system that works for you. So here's kind of the gut check. And I love this quote. If you're confused about why you aren't where you want to be, you need to write down a list of your excuses and realize everything on that list is why. Which kind of your gut check mindset for the day of, I have a whole list of excuses and I can use them. And then if I'm actually honest with myself, am I sitting on the couch griping about those things? Or am I saying, okay, I have 5 minutes. I guess I could probably do these 5 things really, really fast. And it's just a matter of your motivation. You may not want, or your goals may not be the same as mine are, or someone else on the team, but you do have goals because you're here on this call and you're in our team. And so working towards whatever your specific ones are. So get rid of the fluff. All of these things, guides, coach basics, trainings, they're done for you. They are in as a reminder, our team Google Docs. If you don't know where that is, talk to your upline. They are in the Coach Online office. They're in the Dream Team files section. Like, there's almost an overwhelming amount of information out there that you can use. So find one, tweak it, but don't feel like you have to use, if you have an hour a day to work your business, you should not be spending it on creating content. That is already done. So all of these things, and some of you aren't even into training yet or worrying about coach basics, but these are already all done. In kind of figuring out if it's fluff or not, I would ask yourself these questions. Is it necessary? Is it worth it? It's like, is it worth your time to spend? If you have an hour to spend on something, is this worth your time? And is it business building? So I'll be honest, like, I get caught in the Facebook scroll really, really easily. So is it like business building or worth my time to spend an hour scrolling through and watching funny cat videos or getting annoyed at my friends' political posts? No, like, that's not business building for me. But it is business building to go maybe comment some encouraging words on my challengers page, shouting them out publicly, or it might be business building to message someone or things like that. So really give yourself kind of those questions. So that helps you maximize your time and streamline the hour or two a day that you might be having. What I do each month, and I mean, I think this is pretty apparent, is I run one challenge group a month. I might do two depending. I do one new coach training. We do a business builders group for you guys who are pushing through, and a sneak peek. Now, some of those things, like, we might do multiple times, but I'm not running, like right now, for where I'm at with my business, I'm not doing free groups, although I've done them in the past, because I just do not have the time to invest in them. So for me, it's not worth it right now. Now, it was this last summer, and it was a great way to get new people in, but right now with trying to juggle about to have a baby and all this stuff, I'm like, I can't do a free group. I'll probably do it in a few months. So I just focus on these small things. So for you guys to kind of think through, like, obviously you want to be doing a challenge group each month for sure. Definitely run one of those. You don't need to run new coach training or the business builders group because we already have that in place, but you could be participating in a sneak peek. So you can kind of streamline your month according to what you need to do, and don't get caught in the trainings hustle or all of that, because there's so much out there. The calendar. So find your calendar and don't change it. I basically have used the same calendar since I started coaching, because it's what Melanie Mitro, who's my upline and the number one coach for the last 4 years in Beachbody or whatever, has used. So clearly it works for her. And there's a lot of stuff on here, but if you look at it, really it's split in half. So the first half of every month, I advertise for challenge groups, and then I switch. In the second half of every month, I promote being a coach. What I do within those things might be a little different. Like, I know there's a bunch of you doing the 3-day refresh, or, you know, there's holidays thrown in there, but every single month, basically, I just divide it in half. And that really helps it. And sometimes it can be so easy, depending on the month, to feel like, okay, I have my calendar, but actually I'm going to do this instead. But then you don't know what you're inviting to. And then your posts feel all off, and it doesn't work. So find stick with your calendar, whether you're going to do your own thing or use ours, and just stay with it and just keep that focus. I don't know if Monique, if you have any thoughts on this, you can jump in at any point. No. Okay, cool. And this is always posted in our team page as always. And this is the biggest thing. And I know Monique and I have both talked about this. This is something that we always say, learn from our mistakes. Find a system and stick to it. I did not have a system my first good year as a coach. I would scroll through, I'd send messages in Facebook Messenger, and then think I'd responded to all of them, and then realize a month later that I'd missed someone and all this stuff. It was just a hot mess. So learn from our mistakes. Find a system that works, whether it's I created this one. I can share it with you guys if you want to, like a daily tracker of things to do. Whether it's Teamsy, whether it's using a whiteboard in your kitchen. There's a really great sticky note one. I know there's some coaches who will write a sticky note for every day of the week and write their 3 post ideas on it and just have that done every Sunday. So they have their whole week of post ideas. Boom, it's there. You can use Excel. You're muted.
I totally did that yesterday. I planned out my entire week's worth of posts.
Yeah.
I listened to Katie Ersta's video.
Awesome.
Finally, I haven't done it yet. I know. And it kind of, I mean, it's almost like I knew that that's what I should be doing and I kind of do it, but like to actually have a system laid out, it made it even easier for me to start. It kind of got my brain working in a different way where I was like, oh yeah, I could post about this. Oh yeah, I could post about that. And even forward into like, I got so many ideas that I had ideas for next week, which was really good. So I encourage you to do it, everybody, because I really put it off for a long time. And it was kind of freeing to know, like, I already know what I'm posting about today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you just search Katie Ersta Post-it Note, we've posted it in the team page before, but if you just search for it on YouTube, it's like 6 minutes long. It's super short. Great. I know that Melanie has used that before. I know Jen Guthrie has used that. I know there's different coaches who are doing really, really well who've used that. And it just kind of helps you, especially if you're short on time, to kind of visually be like, okay, I'm going to do a Transformation Tuesday post. Maybe Sunday I'll ask my challenger permission to share their story. So I have that already ready to go. I do my meal prep posts on Sundays, like whatever you do, but you can just have it done. And until you do those business building activities, like your business is not going to grow. So you can sit here and like learn about all this stuff. If you don't implement it, you're not going to use it. So find what works for you. With conversations, inviting, and messaging, find systems there that you can keep track of, because that was an area that I really struggled with. With your challengers, I was listening to a call of a coach who says, and I was like, I'm going to start doing this. She's like, every Sunday I check in with my personally sponsored coaches. Every Monday I check in with my challengers. And she just has it broken out that way for her, just kind of monitoring those. Because if you're not following up with your challengers, then you're not going to get referrals. They're not going to become coaches. Like you can't just get someone in a challenge group and then leave them forever. So all of those things like you need to think about. But this whole thing, like all of this, you can literally get done in 20 minutes. You can send out 3 messages. You can send out, you can sit down for 20 minutes, plan out your posts, and then have those done. It takes a minute to do it, like those types of things. So find your system and stick to it. And learn, like, honestly, I probably would have been further in my business sooner if I would have actually just taken the time to do this. This is a Power Hour tracker that I loved. I found it on Pinterest last night, and I really liked it because it was really based on messages. And I think it kind of covers a lot of really good things. So you can, if you just search Power Hour tracker on Pinterest, this pops up here. This was a little bit of tough love for me because this is something that I tend to do. If you're a list maker, I'll add things to the list that I've already done just for the sake of crossing it off because it feels really good. So if you are crossing things off your tracker before you've done them, because you're like, oh, I know I'll message those people later on today, I'm going to cross it off now, your business won't grow. Like you have to do the things first and then cross it off, and just keep track of those things. And I think messaging is a really great example because I'll be like, oh, I know I'm going to shoot him a message tonight, so I'll just cross that off now while I'm thinking about it. But then I'll put it off because I get busy, or I see them post something and then all of a sudden I get nervous. It's like, what's the worst that can happen? They say no. Like, really? They're not going to hate you. They're not going to unfriend you. So I would rather take the gamble on someone becoming a rock star coach or challenger in my group and shooting them a message than being too scared to do it or too busy to keep track of it and things like that. So I always, when I'm doing my Power Hour, I start with the things for me that will develop my business first. So I always make sure I post 3 to 5 times a day. But I'm always making sure that I'm following up and I'm starting new conversations with people. And those can be like new combos could be more like the Hey Girls, just checking in, not Beachbody related. Yesterday's post likes, so following up and just genuinely thanking someone for liking your post, inviting people, follow up. So really kind of tracking through the parts in your business that are going to help you grow is going to be really, really helpful. And again, this is so basic. Those guys of you who have been coaches for a while, this is not anything new. But I think just the reminders of it are really helpful. So I will actually do like a whiteboard. I should have brought it out it's in my office area that has these things. And every month I'll switch it from kind of being like challenger oriented to more coaching oriented, because those are the 2 areas that I focus on. So I'm focusing in those combos on coaching messages, on those types of things. So kind of helps me keep on track through the month there. Duplicate posting systems, messaging, and use them. So these are some examples of things I've created on Canva. And if you haven't used Canva before, it's awesome for graphic design kind of stuff. And you can save stuff and just duplicate it. So like I have used this exact template a couple times and I just switch out the picture and I switch out the wording. But that's like a whole like ad for a post that I haven't had to sit down and reinvent or redo. Like you can literally just be like, I'll swap out the picture, I'll change up the like date or whatever, the title of what I'm doing. But it's not something that I have to spend hours recreating an image for. So use that. I know that a bunch of us do this, but like Google Docs, keep notes on your phone, Google Keep, your files. Like I have a whole file on my computer that's just labeled Beachbody, and it's all the pictures that I use in challenge groups. So I don't have to be searching those every time. So you can just pull those up. Like find ways just to simplify your systems, because then I know like, oh, if I'm looking for this motivational quote for my challenge group, it's in that file. This is another one. I've shared it in our team before. I can do it again. It's like, we think we got it from an elite group, but planning out your marketing things for the week. So a lot of this stuff is out there and you don't have to duplicate it. You can just find it and it's awesome. So I don't know if you guys have thoughts. If you guys who are veteran coaches have any thoughts on this too, let me know. No. Monique uses Google Keep, right? Because I need to download that.
Google Keep is amazing. I actually just started using it like a couple months ago, and my husband actually introduced it to me because he started using it for his business a few months ago. And it's just really cool because it's almost a better version of, like, docs are great to have because you can create them, you can go into them, but Google Keep, you can actually create folders in Keep and files. So I specifically label the folders. You could prioritize them, like pin them to the top. So my conversation posts or conversations that I'm having with people, like my scripts, my invite scripts, I pin it to the top because I'm using those constantly, like every single day. So it's pinned at the top and I go there. Like I have a specific file for right now I'm marketing to expecting or new moms. So I have like a Prego file, right? And so all my stuff, my combos are in there, my marketing stuff is in there, like everything. You could put pictures in there and you literally keep everything, but it's just way more organized than it's not just your docs. Like you put scripts and pictures and quotes, and I have a thing for quotes in there. And so I have a file that I can just click on my quotes and go and search for my quotes. So I know Meg did something similar where she even has organized it so much better that she's specifically organized it for her posts for the week, like I'm doing. And she labeled it like week of whatever and started dropping everything in there. So from her phone and it links to your computer, which is really cool because you can do it everything you put in there from your phone or your computer transfers over. So she can just copy and paste everything from her phone and computer as she sets up her posts for the week there. That's pretty cool. And it's free. Free is awesome.
Always awesome.
Also,
go ahead.
One thing Abby just showed me how to do is that you can save other people's posts on Facebook on your phone, which I didn't know how to do that. And so something that I've been trying to do more is to follow more of the top coaches on social media. I've been following a few because clearly what they're doing is working for them, and finding ones I think that I can relate to, that their voices sound similar to mine and their style is similar to mine, and then kind of copy their posts, like save their posts, and then tweak it to make it fit me instead of starting from scratch every day. So I try to do that, and then just in the cracks of the day, write my posts, like whether it's like literally on the toilet sometimes or whatever. And then I know it's not going to get very much. I'll save my like CTA, my call to action posts for like around 8:00 Eastern in the evening because that's when they get the most views, but I'll have them written out so I can just copy paste. So I just learned about the saving Facebook posts. So
yeah, I know Monique has a group on Facebook, like a private group or page you created where you save stuff in there too, right?
I created a private group.
Yeah.
That added me and like my husband because he has an account that he doesn't go into. So you have to add one person if you create a group, but I just removed him. So I'm the only person there. It's private. You can't even find it. And I just call it like my template page or ad page or whatever. But it's same exact thing. Like I copy and paste a lot of stuff in there. Even my old posts, like my posts that come up from my memories, I put them in. Yeah, I copy and paste those and put those in there so that I have a big pool of like old posts to go through. And then kind of just scroll through that and use, a different picture with it or the same text or whatever. So that's for me super helpful too. It's almost just like another form of Google Keep, I guess, but there are certain things that I only keep certain things in that group. I don't put everything in there. It's more of my own personal, like if I'm crafting posts or saving it for later or something like that. It's anything like ad or post related I keep in that thing.
Yeah, I totally back up Julianne on that. I don't like to copy coaches, obviously, because that's plagiarism and like you don't want to do that. But there's some really great phrasing of like challenge group ads or coaching ads where I'm like, gosh, I love how that was worded and I can just change it to fit my life. And they usually get really good responses. So, kind of there's a kind of a balance of like blinders on of like not just following all the coaches and like sounding like a robot, but being able to really pull from what's good and what's happening in people who you relate with and being able to say, oh yeah, I love that voice. Or now that I've been coaching and this is one of the benefits of posting 3 to 5 times a day for the last 2 years is I have this backlog popping up in my memories, like Monique said, of like, where I literally just reuse the text from that workout post or whatever. I'm like, that was really good. I was on fire.
I'm embarrassed by my early posts. I look back at them and I'm like, oh.
I know. Yeah. Some of them are like, I'm so much better now. But some of them are like, ooh, I really like that. And nobody's going to remember that I posted it a year ago. With messages, obviously this goes without saying, but like just write the same script, save it, and copy and paste. Like you don't need to retype and make sure you change out their name, obviously, and stuff like that. But like you just redo it, you just copy it, and you can send out 5 messages. If you send out 5 messages a day, you can do it in less than a minute. And then you're like, if you do that 5 or 6 times a week, you've gotten 30 messages a week that you have sent out. And then you multiply that by a month. So let's say you want to hit Success Club 10 every single month. That's going to be totally doable for you if you're cutting out all this fluff and just using systems that we have in place.
Yeah. And I have to say, I just wanted to give you guys an example because like for me, when I first started as a coach and I found out, I didn't know, my coach scripted me. When she was texting me, she was totally copying and pasting a script that she used for everybody that she talked to. It sounded authentic to me. I had no idea, right? Like it sounded like she was talking to me until I signed up. And then she told me I asked her to help me with the conversation. And she's like, oh, just send them this. So she sent them this, she sent me what to send them. And I was like, that's what she sent me. Like I was kind of hurt at first. And then I was like, God, that's so smart. Like it's because the people who are, I just want to like tell you, don't feel guilty that you're copying and pasting a script. Because I felt guilty at first. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to like reply to each person. It's so time consuming. You're going to literally say the same thing over and over and over again. And you don't need to when you can just copy and paste it. Mm-hmm. And then an example I just want to give you guys, I'm in this another elite group, a corporate elite group. And one of the coaches who's actually one of the top 200 coaches right now, she recently hired an assistant to help her. And what one of her strategies was to give her assistant her script of what she messages to people, her invite script and all her responses, which would be, it's like, she calls it a canned responses. So what, she expects people to say yes or no to whatever. And she has the next response. And her assistant, she's at Success Club like 20 something, just on her assistant, sending these canned copy and paste responses over and over and over again to people. So don't feel guilty. It works. And you're not being inauthentic by doing it. And I just wanted to encourage you with that because I felt like that at the beginning. So
yeah.
I'll put that out there.
You're being a businesswoman, having a smart use of your time. That's what businesses do. Like in my professional career, I have canned responses for people. Like that's what you do. So use what works. Don't reinvent the wheel. You have everything here. And between our team and then the larger team we're a part of, you guys literally have every resource at your fingertips. So just take advantage of that. I did that. Okay. So the final summary, you want to lead versus manage for those of you guys who are obviously recruiting coaches. There's a difference between having resources and being resourceful. So, Google, YouTube, using your things, actually implementing what's been doing, use what's given to you, create your system. You can sit through and listen to all the trainings, but if you are not doing it, it means absolutely nothing. And if you're not consistent with it, it won't work. This is built off a model of consistency, of showing up every single day. And you want to give what you want to get. So if you want more engagement on your posts, go comment on other people's. If you want people to respond to you, like you have to send the message, like you have to actually take the action steps that's going to give you, and then trust your coach and follow the leader. And this is not to pat ourselves on the back at all. But we learned from making our own mistakes, but we also get to learn from some of the top coaches in the company that we're passing on to you guys. And so trust, like when we say you have to post 3 to 5 times a day on social media, there's a reason for that. When we say you have to message people, there's a reason for that. And it works, and we promise it will. So that's kind of a really quick run through, and I know it's a basic review, but hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Do you guys have questions? We've got like 2 minutes left. So does anyone have questions on anything? No, you're good.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You're good, Nicole.
You're fine.
Just ask a quick question. As far as like how much time is actually spent for you guys as coaches when you're working, because I've heard people say, look, I only have this chunk of time and that's what I do, and I block my business and I have this schedule. But then I also see people like responding throughout the day to all these different things. And so then I don't know, it's like it sometimes feels like people must just be on top of this all day long. And I'm just like, I can't keep up sometimes. So I was just curious about how that actually works, because sometimes it feels like, oh, they're responding so quickly to all of these things. I don't know. Does that make sense what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I set business hours. So I will respond sometimes to you guys, because you guys, like if you're my personally sponsored coach and you're working hard towards goals, sometimes I'll respond to you during the day.
Okay.
I have 5 messages from challengers sitting in my inbox that I'm not going to get to until tonight.
Okay.
That's my business hour. That's my power hour, is at night usually. It's when I have the time to do it. So I, just like any regular business, like you want to respond within 24 hours or things like that, but don't feel like you have to be on all day. So you'll see me post throughout the day, but I've planned those in advance.
Okay.
So I know what I'm going to put, like I already know what I'm going to post after I get off this call. And I know what I'm going to post tonight, but my power hour where I'm actually messaging people, where I'm following up, all of those, that happens at night.
Okay.
Does
Thank
that
you.
help?
Yeah.
Cool. We will post this in the team files, and if you guys have questions, obviously just post on the page, but we are always so happy to spend Mondays with.
Katie, did you have anything real quick that we need?
No, I just wanted to say that I just had my coach anniversary, and if you stick with it, if you honestly like see where you are in a year, you can see the ups and the downs and all of those things in between, and realize that if you have these systems and if you really set yourself hours and if you do all the things, it makes a huge, huge difference. So stick with it. It's overwhelming in the beginning. I'm always willing to talk to any of you. A few of you reached out, just to see, because I was just there, and I'm still learning everything too. So I'm just wanting to encourage you guys.
Thank you. Happy anniversary.